Welcome to this LedgerSync overview. My name is Christopher Reagan. I'm a CPA down in Florida, and when I came up with the idea for LedgerSync, I was trying to solve two problems that my firm has when it comes to small business bookkeeping. The first of which is requesting bank statements and check images and credit card statements from our small business bookkeeping clients takes a very large amount of time with my staff, trying to motivate clients to send that information month after month. And I became very tired of requesting this and spending hours trying to get clients to send us that. As you know, you can't bill for bookkeeping until you do it. And so when clients would not send me bookkeeping for months and months, even our billing suffered, and LedgerSync solves that problem. It also solves the problem of data entry, which is once you get the bank statements from the client, you then have to either yourself or pay a bookkeeper to do it, the data entry into your bookkeeping software. And LedgerSync allows you to, once you have transactions from the bank each month, you can import them into your bookkeeping software. So this overview is going to show you exactly what LedgerSync does and what it looks like from the accountant's side once you have your clients set up in LedgerSync and kind of how it works. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to log in to the accountant's side of LedgerSync. So I'm going to put in my email address here and put in my password. When you sign in, you'll notice across the top we have a very simple layout. Accounts, transactions, checks, and statements. And that's because LedgerSync will pull the transactions, checks, and statements for each of your client accounts. And once you have that information, you can then export it to your bookkeeping software. So let me very quickly show you what it looks like when you have clients set up. And you can see this list of clients that we have in here. I'm going to go to a set of clients called RF Group. This is what it looks like once you have clients set up. And as you can see, I've got a number of different clients set up under RF Group. This particular set of clients is assigned to one of our users. So there's a number of different bookkeeping clients you can see here. Once you are here, what you can do is you can select whether you want to view transactions, checks, or statements. So let me just kind of show you what the transactions side of things looks like. I'm going to go into the transactions tab. And here I need to select who I'm wanting to view. So under the RF Group client, I'm going to select which accounts I want to take a look at. So just for this particular demonstration, I'm going to go into a client that is called Integrated Rehab. So I have Integrated Rehab's account pulled up here, and then I can select a date. I'm going to select the date of, let's say I was wanting to do the March bookkeeping, so I'm going to select all of the March transactions, and I'm going to hit search. So now it's just giving me the transactions for that date period, and I can pull up 50 of them. As you can see, they have a number of transactions, and they have a lot of work that we normally did. This particular client took us hours and hours and hours to do the data entry on. Over here, you can see I can export this to my bookkeeping software when I want to. So LedgerSync goes online and pulls this information every day if you want it to. You can refresh it each day, and what it does is it goes out to your client's bank accounts and pulls this information and makes it available to you to view and to export. At the same time, I can look at checks. So I'm going to go over to the checks tab here. As you know, transactions without check images, you can't really finish your bookkeeping because you don't know what the checks are. So again, I'm going to pull up the Integrated Rehab checking account, and I'm going to pull a date range. if I had already exported these transactions to my bookkeeping software. Now what I would need to do is look and see what each of these checks is. So what you can see is you get the check number, and you can also sort these so they're in order. You have the check number, and one of the wonderful things about LedgerSync is I can view each of these checks. So watch what happens whenever I click view here. It pulls up the check image. So from the standpoint of being able to complete your bookkeeping, LedgerSync has everything that you need. That also includes the statements. So if I come over here to the statement side of things, and I'll go back to Integrated Rehab, it's going to show me the statements for the time periods that the statements have been finished for. So in this particular case, if I wanted to look at February statements, here I can see February statements and what their account was doing for the month of February, and I can complete my bank reconciliations using this bank statement. The reason this is all important is it's the three pieces that accountants need to finalize financial statements, and you can reconcile, you can really do your bookkeeping start to finish, and you no longer have to go to your client for this information, because once your client sets up an account in LedgerSync, it refreshes, and the client doesn't have to provide you this information each month. You can just go get it whenever you'd like. Over here, you can see where we can set up new users. So if I'm wanting to set up a new client, all I have to do is go here to users, and I can click the plus sign here, and I just need to set up their username. So I'll set up test account 3. Let's put in their email address is test3@test.com. When I add that new user, the system lets me know that they've been successfully registered. I can now see that user here is set up in my system. The system sends the client an email letting them know that they need to log into their LedgerSync account, which I'm going to show you here in just a moment. And you can see now in your drop-down list that you have test 3 available. When you go there, there's no accounts set up. You can click here to resend them instructions on how to do it. Now, I will tell you one of the best practices that we learned whenever we set up our firm on LedgerSync is it's a great idea to send clients an email from your email address, letting them know that what LedgerSync is and that you're setting them up on LedgerSync before they get these emails from the LedgerSync system. Otherwise, they're going to see this email come from this random piece of software that they don't know anything about yet, and they won't know whether it's real or not. Even though in that email it says it's coming from you, we've set it up to where it will identify who you are in our LedgerSync emails because you're set up as the accountant. They still won't believe it, so you'll get a lot of emails asking if this is real or not. So a best practice is to email all of your clients from your email address before you send them LedgerSync emails, before you set them up on the LedgerSync system, so that they know that that this is real and that you want them to log in and set up their accounts. Let's take a look. I'm going to log out. And let's take a look at what it looks like when you log in as a client. So here I've logged in as a client, and this particular client has several different bank accounts set up because it's one of our test accounts. But let me show you, if a client logs into their side of it, you can see that it changes from green to blue. And that way it's easy to know whenever you're working with a client, whether you're on the accountant side or on the client side. And if a client needs to add a new account, all they have to do is click this button here, and you can search for they can search for where their bank accounts are. So let's say that they're at Wells Fargo. When you start typing in Wells, it immediately identifies what you're trying to do, and you click on the Wells Fargo link, and here you can name the account that you're going to set up. So let's call it test account 4. I'll click next. We're setting up a bank account. If you're setting up a credit card, you could click this button here. And all LedgerSync is going to ask for is their online banking username and password. When they enter these two pieces of information, hit add account, it's going to set up what we call an extractor. And that extractor will then go pull their banking information for you. They don't necessarily have to log back into LedgerSync unless there's challenge questions that need to be answered. But if there are no challenge questions that need answering, then they don't really have to come back to LedgerSync, and you get to update your records whenever you like. You can update them daily or weekly, or what we have done at our firm is updating them each month, of course, when the statements are out, when we're doing the monthly financial statement prep. So setting up new accounts is very easy on the client side, and each of your clients will get their own unique login to LedgerSync, and then they can come in and set up their own bank accounts in LedgerSync. Again, if you have questions or interested in participating in the LedgerSync beta testing, please send me an email. It's at the end of this video, our contact information. You can also go to ledgersync.com and sign up using our website. It is a very simple piece of software to use, but one that solves some very important issues for your firm and can really save you a lot of time on the bookkeeping side and keep the hassles to clients away, because not having to request bookkeeping information anymore makes it possible to really in a timely way get financial statements to them, and at the same time on your side bill for that work as soon as you get it done. No more waiting to bill, and no more waiting to get this bookkeeping done at the end of the year for procrastinating clients. So thanks for taking a look at this, and if you have any questions, please contact our LedgerSync team. Until next time, we'll see you soon.